Hey everyone, Starlight Speedster here with a new video, and I figured that I would do something covering Exoparadigm Gamer and his tweets about Sonic Forces. Now, why am I covering this? I'm covering this because, as you will see in the title of this video, I want to talk about why the whole stop defending mediocrity argument needs to die. So, for those of you who are lucky enough to not know, Sonic Forces is a very controversial 3D Sonic game, even by the standards of Sonic games. So, the game had very polarizing reception when it was first unveiled to the public as Project Sonic 2017, and to this day there are still so many heated debates about whether or not Forces was a good game. And one argument that I will see all the time when discussing this game and just the Sonic series as a whole is stop defending mediocrity. As in, you will have these people that will go on about how fans just accept crap and they accept mediocrity. And I vehemently disagree with the whole basis of that, with the whole basis of the argument. First, let's consider the context in which the argument is used in. So this argument is typically used whenever someone likes something the other person considers mediocre. So, that is precisely what happened with Sonic Forces. Some people liked the game, others thought it was mediocre, and because they disagree with the person who liked the game, they think that person accepts mediocrity. And can I just say how dumb that is when you take the time to dissect it? So, first of all, why would someone accept mediocrity? If I think something is mediocre, I know I would not just accept it and defend it. If this person is defending something you consider mediocre, maybe they have a different opinion, maybe they have a different viewpoint, maybe they have different standards on what is or is not mediocre. And I think it is very close-minded to just dismiss the other side, saying that they accept mediocrity and that your opinion is the one true opinion. So, why don't we go over these? Sorry to say that after a second playthrough, I continue to have a wrong opinion on Sonic Forces. That is, he liked the game. Okay, so let's take a look at this thread with Volt 790. It's alright. Some people do like a majority of the music. It's a good thing everyone agrees the gameplay is mediocre to just terrible. Oh no, you misunderstand my wrong opinion. I don't like just the music. So you like the gameplay. Well, time to turn in those other Sonic games. It's been nice watching your reviews, but the SWAT team will be there in 15 minutes. I'll do you an opinion even wronger. I like the story too. I was actually fine with the story. It needed a bit more meat to it and a better conclusion for Infinite, but it was nice for what we got. Mainly for me, the gameplay burned me hard and made this one of the worst Sonic games for me. My thing is, I much prefer simpler level design in my platformers, so this was exactly what I wanted stage-wise. I still have criticisms of the jump physics and many of the red ring placements, but I really don't see the fire here. It felt like a watered-down version of Generations. Sonic never seemed to turn properly. CC's Wispins felt either overpowered or bad, Cube Wispin in particular. And, okay, custom character, that's what CC stood for. And Classic Sonic did not feel fun compared to his Generations outing. Jump physics were also a huge thing that got me. I didn't like Generations level design at all, and before I continue, if I recall correctly, EXO said that that Generations was his second favorite Sonic game. So, wow, that is quite the difference. If he covers Generations, I hope he explains that. Just how do you go? I know it's been years, but how do you just go from saying my second favorite Sonic game to not liking the level design at all? But okay, so let's forget about that. Let's just continue on. I didn't like Generations level design at all. They crammed way too much stuff into one stage. Forces still had paths, and I much prefer its larger number of bite-sized stages to Generations' giant mazes. That's my 2 cents. I don't have a problem with people having their own preferences for level design, but that street doesn't seem to go both ways, if that makes sense. I think it does, saying that people go after you for having your preference, right? That's fair. I much prefer Generations' bigger levels and more multiple paths. As for Forces, it was very simplistic but also felt very automated in 3D levels with few standouts. I wasn't even mad at the level reuse. I liked Sand Hill and Frozen Chemical Plant, but they never popped at me. I feel like people really undersell how much platforming there is in Forces. The only totally automated stage I can think of is Aqua Road, and even there you dodge obstacles. Even then, all the Boostway Hall stuff was in all the previous Boost games too. Trying to word this right, it felt weaker in Forces, maybe because of shorter levels. Felt like there was much more boosting than before, and due to the jump physics feeling bad, I wanted to avoid it unlike other games, which led to mainly just boosting and bad jumping when forced. Well, I guess we'll agree to disagree. I appreciate that you were willing to give the story and music a chance. When I had gotten the game, I was extremely excited for it, if not a little cautious. I didn't want to end my time with it disliking it so much, but it happened. And yeah, the story was alright, and the music was hit and miss, mainly no classic Sonic tunes. Imperial Tower is my fave, and thank you for discussing it with me. I like sharing opinions on most games and discussion without absolutely trashing the other's opinion. At least seriously, jokingly is fine if you're both cool with it. Is always a good time. I appreciate it too. At the end, I feel like there's more I have to say about Forces. Out of every main Sonic game I have played, I haven't been burned by a game as much as I have with Forces. If you enjoy it, good for you, but man, it is not a game I want to revisit. And there, so I went through this whole thread, and we see these two people calmly discussing their thoughts and where they differ. Now, why does this relate to how does this tie into the original purpose of the video? About how the stop defending mediocrity mentality needs to die. Well, the reason it ties in is because as I was reading through the thread, if you actually took the time to see EXO's thought process and understand where he was coming from, if you took the time to just really understand where he was coming from, you can see that he doesn't just defend mediocrity. At no point does EXO say, "What? It's an alright game. Stop hating on it, you hater." And yes, that there are a lot of people who are like that. There are a lot of people that will defend it with weak excuses like, "Oh, it was just okay, stop being a hater." Those people do exist, but that is a vocal minority. I am sure that most people who enjoy Forces, I am sure that they have their reasons for enjoying it, similar to EXO. In fact, I watched a video from Gamer, and it was pretty interesting. You know, he gave his reasons as to why he thought the level design was solid, if imperfect. He talked about the stuff he did enjoy, like the story. I think he mentioned the music and the custom avatar. So really, just sort of boiling down the people who enjoyed the game as just people who defend mediocrity is, you know, it is being extremely dismissive of, it is being extremely dismissive of what they really think, because again, throughout this whole thread, EXO never said anything like, oh, stop hating it, it isn't that bad. He gave his reasons as to why he enjoyed it and why he thinks it is a solid game. So, really, to anyone who says, oh, Sonic fans just accept mediocrity, I cannot agree with that at all. And let me just get this out of the way. I have not played Forces or Mania or most 3D Sonic games. The reason is because I do not own any consoles. I do not own any sort of consoles. I don't have a PS3 or PlayStation 4 or Xbox or any of that. I do not own any video game consoles, and that is a story for another day. But, you know, I have played a few Sonic games through other means. You know, I have played things like the Genesis trilogy. I did play Sonic CD legally through the iOS port, and I have played a little bit of the Advanced trilogy, but I have not played any of the 3D Sonic games, so I do not have a horse in this race. But I just, just being someone who is still interested in the franchise, because of other things like the cartoons, and the music, because of stuff like this, I still do see these sorts of debates pop up on Twitter and my timeline, and just seeing people say, "Oh yeah, stop defending mediocrity." It makes me want to facepalm. It makes me want to roll my eyes, because clearly, if you think that anyone who likes Forces or something you don't like, if you really think that they are defending mediocrity, then just please take the time to consider how dumb that really sounds. I don't mean to come off as insulting, but just think about it. Who wants to accept mediocrity? Who wants to accept a mediocre game? No one does. But tastes are subjective, and again, just going around saying if you like this game, you just accept mediocrity, that is just very, very close-minded. EXO here, he was able to give all his reasons as to why he liked the game. He explained that he liked the game's level design, he likes its simplicity, and that he thinks that there is more depth to it than people are giving it credit for. And from what I have seen on gameplay footage, that is true to an extent. Some levels can be pretty automated, like Luminous Forest, but there still are multiple paths you can take. I know for a fact that Eggate has at least three grind rails you can go on, and Mortar Canyon, the final modern Sonic stage, has tons and tons of multiple paths. So yes, EXO here was able to list all of his reasons, back up his opinion properly, and it is really unfair to go around claiming that EXO somehow defends mediocrity, when in his eyes that is untrue. And again, opinions are subjective by nature. So please stop with the whole stop defending mediocrity rhetoric, because when you are doing that, all it does is show that you are very close-minded and unwilling to look at things from another angle. And if we keep using this whole mentality, all it will do is serve to close off our own viewpoints, and yeah, it would just serve to close off our own viewpoints from another. So instead of saying stop defending mediocrity, ask the person, why do you like this game? I personally think it is mediocre, but I would like to hear what you have to say. And hey, maybe you will gain something from it. I think that is all I have to say, so yes, thank you for taking the time to watch. Have a great rest of your day or night, and take care.